Hello, Internet. So, as you already know, my name is Ryan Ingram, and I just wanted to record a quick video saying thank you. I can't tell you how much fun I've had doing this, and things really escalated quickly. We're already over 200 subscribers, and honestly, when I started this a few weeks ago, I didn't expect the outcome. Many of you, I don't know you, I've never met you, but I can't tell you how thankful I am for your support. My whole idea behind creating this channel was just to share all of the information that I've learned over the past few years as I made the decision to just completely change the trajectory of my life so that I could provide for my family the lifestyle that we were after. So since many of you I don't know, I just wanted to share a little bit more about myself that doesn't come up in these other videos I've recorded. So I was in law enforcement in North Carolina, and in 2017, we had our first kid. And at that point, we realized that it was really important for my wife and I that she be a stay-at-home mom. I looked around on my law enforcement salary, just the way that we built our lifestyle. I couldn't swing being the sole breadwinner. She was an assistant principal at a school. She's a phenomenal human. You know, while I purchased my first house at 23, I accidentally house hacked. The thing where I went wrong was we bought 17 acres and we built a house on it. And that mortgage payment was more than I could afford solely on my salary. At the time, I was saving 50% of my law enforcement income. And the whole reason I was able to do that is because I was house hacking. My roommate was paying for half of all the expenses. And then I got married and my wife was then paying for half of all the expenses. So it didn't really matter until she didn't work anymore. And at that point, we really had to take a hard look at what we were doing and how we were going to get the results out of life that we were after. I've always been so frugal and just dead set on saving the majority of my income that I just couldn't bear the thought of not doing that. Sure, we would provide the lifestyle for my family that we wanted, but we would have to sacrifice the saving, and that led to more uncertainty about where we would be in a few decades. So with that, I started reading one book per day, and that's when things really started taking off for me, because I've always considered myself to be a high achieving person. When I was ages 13 to 18, all I did was play racquetball. I wanted to be, the #1 racquetball player in the world. That didn't work out too well for me. Technically, my senior year of high school, I was on the Racquetball Pro Tour, and I also came in second in the National High School Championships in racquetball of all sports. Shortly thereafter, I became a Christian. I had so much of my identity wrapped up in racquetball that I just couldn't. It just wasn't a good fit after I became complete in Christ, and I was no longer chasing after that thing that I thought was super important to who I was and the fabric of my being. After I stopped playing racquetball, I still had the desire to compete, so I took up weightlifting. Why weightlifting? My brother, he went to the Naval Academy. He was president of the powerlifting club there. My dad, he could bench over 400 pounds. I was the little guy. Both of those are extraordinary role models and superheroes in my eyes, so I just wanted to be more like them. I took it up. I applied all of the disciplines I'd learned throughout my years of racquetball, and shortly thereafter, I set an American record for bench press with the USAPL, or the USA Powerlifting. So I really loved being in law enforcement as well, and I really liked arresting drunk drivers, and I became pretty good at that really quickly. That's what I put my energy in. So I was just super confused as to why I couldn't provide for my family the way that we wanted when I considered myself to be a high-performing individual. And that's when I realized I had never put any focus or effort into achieving high money-making skills. So at that point, like I mentioned, we started reading one book per day. That sounded a little bit crazy. We as in I started reading one book per day. This was back in 2017, and at that time, Ty Lopez, I saw one of his posts somewhere, and it was that clip that everybody's grown to hate, with him in his garage, his Lambo, and his bookshelf, and said, "This is how I got here," was reading all these books. So I figured, well, if that guy's saying it, there must be something to it, and I was going to read one book per day until I learned how to fix my situation. And it clicked for me reading one of Tony Robbins' book. I remember sitting there in my police car and I realized I have already read this. All of the books are saying the same thing. At this point, all I need to do is go out and do it. So at that point, I started my first business during nights and weekends, and it's just been one giant flash of capitalism since then. But if it weren't for those very strong trigger points in my life, I never would have been able to achieve what I have so far. So as I started applying those principles, my life just started to just completely unfold in this completely new direction. And once my brother and I started up our real estate company, then that's when we both became really passionate about, man, we're not going to say this is easy, but we're also not going to say this is hard. If you do these things and you do them consistently, then the results are pretty expected. So my brother and I have both become incredibly passionate about sharing everything it is that we know and have learned over these past 3 years. We're still in the infancy stages of what we're doing, but we want to bring as many people as we can along with us. And for that, I'm just so thankful for all 200 of you guys. I stay awake just refreshing all the analytics. I love just seeing subscribers just happen. And I want you to know that I love you. I want the best for you. And if there's any questions, comments, concerns, if you want clarification on anything, please let me know, because our wildest dreams are not that far away if we commit, we stay disciplined, and we do things every single day to help us get there. So I want to just impart all of the wisdom, everything that I've learned. I don't have all the answers. With some of you all, I'm sure I'm just a few steps ahead of you. And for the majority of you, I'm sure I'm just light years behind you guys. But nonetheless, with enough encouragement, community, accountability, and all of that, we can absolutely achieve whatever it is that we want out of this life, because, we've only got one of them and we have to make the most here. I've said with a few people, again, I've already said I'm a Christian, but one of my biggest motivations, one thing that I remind myself all the time is, personally, I think the meaning of life is becoming the absolute best version of yourself for the benefit of all of those around you. So I'm in the process of that. I am going to thank you guys in advance for all of your patience and and grace as I stumble through learning how to do this. But man, I'm hooked. So anything you all want to talk about, I would love to do anything it is that I can to help. So thanks so much. I really appreciate the support of all of you. And over the next few weeks, what I'm going to concentrate on is these Deals Explained videos. I really want to get through all of the deals that we've done so that it's really easy to kind of go behind us and duplicate what it is that we've created. There's also something that I completely did not expect, and that is that a lot of you all have reached out to me and let you know that you've appreciated the content and you've also encouraged your kids to start watching. So that Millionaire by 30 video that I did, that had a little bit of traction behind it, especially for those of you that have kids that are in their teens or early 20s. So thank you all. It means the world to me that you reached out and let me know that. And because of that, I'm going to build out another playlist about how to build wealth in your teens and early 20s. I don't know of a name of it yet. So building out those two playlists are going to be my motivation over the upcoming weeks. So again, I can't say it enough. Thank you all for your support so early on. I appreciate all the positive feedback, and I more so appreciate all the constructive criticism that you guys have given me in a very loving way. So again, thank you so much. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see what this turns into. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks.